Hey guys, my name is Krista Tyus. I am an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Service, and I also teach tax and accounting professionals how to start, grow, and scale their virtual firm to multiple six figures. So, in today's video, I want to do a catch up video with you to go over some of the things that I've been up to, how I have restarted my tax and accounting firm, and tell you how I'm structuring my firm moving forward. So if you've been following me for some time, I started to do YouTube videos sometime in late 2018. And that was a really fun time for me because I literally just wanted to give information that I wish I had known when I was starting and growing my own tax and accounting firm. And so I talked about all of the mistakes that I made when I started my firm, all of the money that I wasted on the different marketing strategies that I tried, and how I was able to ultimately grow a six-figure firm and the lessons that I learned. And so that naturally translated into coaching in this space, training thousands of tax and accounting professionals in over 13 countries now. And I've been so honored, so grateful to do that. And 2024 was like, I would say, a transition period for me where I was honestly coming from COVID 2020 and coming from that hustle culture. I really felt burned out for the past couple of years. I've been coming through these, I would say, like these peaks and valleys of like inspiration and excited, but then crashing out and burning out and like feeling depleted and energetic, and really trying to make sure that I am aligning what I do with what I'm actually passionate about, with what I actually care about, and what actually thrills me. So I remember one of my last masterminds that I did was in 2023. It was in San Diego. I have always done over the past several years a high level mastermind for a select group of tax and accounting professionals that are looking to make seven figures in revenue. And I always rent out a mansion off of the waterfront, typically in San Diego, California, where you have beautiful oceanfront views. And we talk about how to scale the tax and accounting services, really more higher value services. And I remember in 2023 when I was teaching that class, and I get really passionate when I teach, and my clients see it, my students see it, and they get excited because they see how passionate I am about talking about this stuff. And I remember sitting there going over a CFO and tax planning offer. And for those that are new to this industry, CFO services is Chief Financial Officer services. This is one of the higher advisory services that you can offer businesses. This really analyzes their data, right? Their financials. And you really help them implement strategies that's going to help them scale their companies based upon certain KPIs. Tax planning is obviously you taking the tax preparation, the data from that, as well as certain data points such as their goals, their tax liability, future assets, or philanthropy that they want to incorporate, and you create a tax plan that helps them mitigate their taxes, meaning pay the least amount of taxes. So I was letting my mastermind students know in 2023, I said, hey, if I had to start all over, here's what I will focus on. I will focus on CFO services, tax planning, and I would do this, that, and the third. And I will only work with a handful of clients, and I will make $1 million a year in revenue. And I would truly have a boutique firm that delivered extraordinary results to and for my clients. And everybody got quiet. Everybody was leaning in, and I was even tapped in. And it felt so good to think about that, right? And so over that course of a year and a half, that seed was planted. I mean, that felt so good to think about providing CFO services and tax planning services to higher net worth businesses. And so in 2024 was my opportunity to do that, right? And this is where I really got a opportunity to work with higher level individuals providing CFO services and tax planning. And that's when I made the conscious decision to reopen my tax and accounting firm. And this is when I started getting more CFO clients. I started getting more tax planning clients. And I'm like, this is exciting because I actually get to see the results that I am helping my clients achieve. And so here's what I mean by this. In coaching, what I have done over the past several years, I tell people what to do, right? I say, hey, here's how you're going to grow your following. Here's how you're going to get clients. Here's how you need to do your social media marketing. In CFO services and tax planning, I'm actually doing the services and I actually can see tangible results from the work that I personally completed and done for the client. And so it was like this instant gratification that I was able to feel. I felt more purposeful. I felt more energetic. I saw the results immediately. My clients, I could see how it was impacting positively their businesses and even their mental health, right? And their energy and their enthusiasm and excitement. All around, I could see shifting from coaching to actually providing consulting and advisory services, how I saw more tangible benefits right away, right? And so I was like, you know what, this is cool. And for the most part of 2024, that's what I had done. I had been focused on just growing my tax and accounting firm, getting clients little by little, doing outreach messaging, pretty much all the marketing strategies that I've ever taught over the past several years. I had started to deploy in my own newly founded firm to get more clients, right? And so what I did just recently, probably a couple of months ago, once I got several clients up underneath my belt, CFO and tax planning clients, generating monthly recurring revenue, I was like, now I'm ready to actually talk about how I did this, right? Now I'm ready to talk about what were the steps, what were some of the mistakes that I made, because I still make mistakes restarting my tax and accounting firm. I still learned a lot of lessons because it's something about learning something, right? Knowing the theory of something, but then it's a whole nother animal putting it into practice, right? Actually going out, getting clients, managing your workflow, providing advisory services at this capacity, providing weekly CFO meetings with my clients. All of this was stretching me in a way that I hadn't been stretched in years, right? Because one, this was the first time where most all of my clients were high net worth clients. And high net worth for me is typically they make over $500,000 annually. And I would say the majority of my CFO clients make over $2 million. They're either at 2 million or more in their revenue. And so that came with a lot of, I would say, care, responsibility, thoroughness to my work product. And so that took me away, I would say, for the past several months from actually coaching and training and doing courses, right? Things that I had already been doing for the past several years. So I said, okay, now that I went through this process, I've mastered this process, I've made the mistakes, I know how to comfortably provide CFO and tax planning at a high level to higher net worth individuals and actually get them tangible results. I'm like, now I can kind of mold this back into coaching and consulting to you guys, right? To show you guys how you can actually do the exact same. So I opened up my first cohort for my CFO and tax planning pro academy, where I show you how to provide high level CFO and tax planning services to higher net worth individuals and how to help them grow and scale their companies. And in this coaching cohort, it was even more revelation on we don't need 50 clients, 100 clients, 300 clients to make the type of revenue that we desire. After coaching and after actually reopening my boutique CFO and tax planning advisory firm, I realized we only need maybe a handful of clients, right? Maybe even 2 clients at $150,000 to $250,000 annually. I want you to hear me. At this level of CFO and tax planning advisory services, we don't need even 50 clients. We don't need even 30 clients, which is what my goal was just 6 months ago. In the way that I teach CFO and tax planning and how you can partner with these companies, you can lock in 6-figure engagements. And for the majority of us, 1 or 2 6-figure engagements is enough money to live comfortably, to be comfortable, So I started challenging my clients during this cohort. And I said, what if you only got 2 to 3 clients, maybe upwards to 5 clients, each paying you about $8,500 per month, about $100,000 or more annually? And I said, what if we focused on going deeper with the client? What if we focused on really helping them with strategy that not only tracks KPIs, that I not only does a weekly CFO report, but what if we actually integrated with the company in a way where you were considered a partner and you were responsible for a certain initiative or strategy to help get the company to the next level? How would you feel about that? If you got a company, instead of providing after the fact bookkeeping for, just tax preparation for, just $2,500 a month CFO services for you, just doing some basic reporting and KPI tracking and analysis. What if you actually integrated with the company and became a partner of the company? I said, would that feel good as opposed to you having, let's say, how much is it to make 200 and, let's say 250,000 was the goal, right? And you want to just charge $2,500. You would need 100 clients to make 250,000 providing high-level CFO services. Let me tell you, it's a lot of work. Okay? It is a lot of work. What if you can get one client at $250,000 annually? What would that look like? What would that look like? Now, some of you are like, Crystal, that's a job. Okay. All being a service provider entrepreneur is a job. You're exchanging one job for multiple jobs that you're doing across the board, right? But make no mistake, when you are integrated with the company, you are a partner, you are still self-employed. You are still an independent contractor. So you get to show up on your own terms. You're not clocking in to nobody's company. You are a partner of the company where you are the chief financial officer that is laying and providing high-level strategic and consultative strategy to and for your clients. So let's talk about what does that look like? And here's what I've been going over with my CFO and tax planning cohort. I'll give you an example with one of my students. On our one-on-one session, she told me about a client who she's already working with. The client makes about $20 million annually. They have had some immense struggles with millions of dollars in inventory, with procurement that has gone awry, that has cost the company $3 to $5 million. This company has a lot of potential. This company also has a lot of problems fundamentally with their finances, like I said, with their vendor selection, with their procurement process for their inventory, with their inventory management. They have a lot of fundamental issues. So I told her, I said, instead of this being a $30,000 a year bookkeeping or accounting client or even CFO client at that level, what if you actually became this a company's actual CFO partner? What if the $3 to $5 million mistake that they made a year ago, what if you were there to help them mitigate that? And what if you are there to help mitigate risk like that in the future? Don't you think that would be worth $250,000 annually for your services? If you can just eliminate $3 to $5 million in waste within the first 12 months of you working with them. You think that's worth $250,000 contract for you to become a CFO partner within this company? Absolutely. So I was telling my clients, you go through the company and you look at all of the problems that they have top line. I'm talking about revenue, right? What are all their sources of revenue? What are all of their products? What are the price points of their products? Where are the opportunities with their revenue potential? One of my clients, they want to go after the medical industry, right? And we were talking about a KPI of revenue per patient, right? So if you have a client that has, you're going in as their CFO and the top line that you're looking at is revenue sources and what all they offer and at what price points, and you find, let's say the client is making, let's say $350 revenue per client or per patient, right? But you're able to go in there, strategically adjust your pricing, strategically adjust their cross-sell and upsell opportunities to each patient, and you're able to go from, let's say, $350 to $600 per patient. Now you're making an additional $250 per patient. Let's say your client sees about 100 patients per month, right? They have urgent care or private practice. Right. So you just increased their revenue by $25,000 per month by just focusing on top line revenue sources and pricing. Over a year, you just added $300,000 in additional income to their private practice without doing any additional marketing strategies. You think your fee for this client would be worth $150,000 to $250,000 a year? Absolutely, because guess what? This was just one strategy in CFO services that you can help your clients deploy to make more money, to grow and scale, to increase their net profits. So now I'm completely shifting my paradigm. Instead of going after 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus clients, we only need probably two clients. Now, what I want you to hear is the marketing is going to be the same. You're still going to do strategy sessions, but I want you to hear the same work that you're going to do to try to get 30 is going to be very similar, if not the same work that you're going to do to try to get just two clients, if not easier, because you get to stop at one or two as opposed to keep going at the 30 at a lower price point, let's say $1,000 a month, right? Now, this paradigm shift is not for everybody. I'm not saying that you can't take clients at $2,500 per month or $1,000 a month or $500 a month. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying if you are in a season of your life where I found myself in, where I wanted more impact but less stress, then this business model could possibly be for you. Now, I'm not saying to toss away all your hundreds of tax clients, to toss away all your bookkeeping clients, but if the prospect of getting one $150,000 per year high-level client excites you, right? At the prospect of locking in two $250,000 per year, a CFO and tax planning partner clients excites you, then this is the new paradigm shift that I want to introduce you to. I want to welcome you to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link below to my webinar, my CFO and Tax Planning Pro Academy webinar, so you can learn more about this new paradigm shift. And if you're interested, you will have an opportunity to sign up for cohort number 2, which is going to be starting very soon. If you have any questions about starting or growing your business, I definitely want to obviously create more content for you guys like I used to. So I'll be going back and looking at all my comments to see what you guys are commenting. What type of learning or trainings or courses or classes are you interested in? So drop them below. Let me know where you at with your tax and accounting firm. What are you struggling with? What do you want to learn? What are you excited about? What are you afraid about? And let me know so I can create strategic content, also so I can answer your questions in the comment section below. If you like this content, hit the and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video.